Hi, this is Lee Martin and welcome to RC Racing for this month's Lee Martin Special.
Yes, it's our second special with special people, and our special person today is Lee Martin. And Lee, you've been incredibly successful over the last year or so. I mean, was it a sudden switch? Did you suddenly get? Where have you come from? Why are you suddenly winning everything we film?
I'm not sure. I think you bring me good luck. But I've been trying incredibly hard over the last couple of years and it's paid off and it's doing well.
First thing we're going to look at is the two-wheel drive European Championships from Austria last year. Your first European Championship. Were you confident going that you were going to win the event?
To be fair, I was pretty confident. I've been running my cars a lot. I'd been to the track a couple of times. I knew the layout. I knew it was pretty good there. I won the warm-up there. So I went into it with confidence and it helped a lot.
Well, let's see Lee in the deciding leg of the two-wheel drive European Championships.
On pole position on the Tamiya, Lee Martin. Hubert Honeygall, the Austrian, is in second position. In third from the UK, Paul Bradbury. In fourth, Jörn Neumann, the German, and his countryman. In fifth position is Mark Reinhardt. In sixth, it's Peter Pinish, another one of the Austrian drivers. Seventh, another Brit, Ellis Stafford. In eighth, it is Kevin Lee, there he is, well done. In ninth position, Neil Cragg, a lot of Brits here. 10th, Tom Cockerell. Yeah, you've guessed it, another Brit. Well, poleman Lee Martin knows that a win here makes him European champion. Sounds easy, me saying it here, but he gets a very good start into the S's for the first time. Honeygall, Bradbury, Neumann, the top four. Mark Reinhardt in fifth position. Heading over the whoops and all kinds of carnage there. Doesn't affect the leader though. He goes through. Now remember, the tabletop was his nemesis in the first round. Very lucky to come out with a win. Heads through. It's Honeygall in second. That looks like Reinhardt going through in third place. So the rest of the field stream through. Neil Cragg at the back of that opening group.
Can't see numbers.
The leader already getting away. Can he smell that European Championship already? Got to keep his concentration going. Now, that is Mark Reinhardt. And behind him, he's under pressure from... Is that Ellis Stafford behind him? Yes, it is. Stafford then. Just dropped behind Reinhardt, the experienced German, and looked like Reinhardt was in a bit of trouble there, and Stafford I think may have made up a position or two. Well, there is our leader, Lee Martin, keeping well out of trouble. Ooh, pushing a little bit hard there at the end of the start-finish straight. Honeygall in second. No, that's still Reinhardt in third, so someone who had bother was behind him. Now, can anybody put pressure on Lee Martin? He's grabbed pole position and he was pretty impressive in the first heat, with the exception of a couple of mistakes at the tabletop. Hubert Honeygall himself was not squeaky clean either. Indeed, was anybody at the front of that first heat. There is Honeygall in second with Mark Reinhardt. Won just about everything there is to win, Reinhardt, hasn't he? And he must be slightly disappointed with his running this weekend. Hasn't had it all his own way, but at the moment he looks to me just to be closing down on second place. Honeygall then heading out into the S's. Austria versus Germany for second place. Mistake there again by Mark. Is he slightly overdriving the buggy? A lot of drivers getting those whoops wrong and struggling, particularly with the last jump. Seems to be throwing the buggies offline. Can't quite get them lined up for the right-hander at the end of it. Now into this very technical section, hard on the stoppers and pulling the car in to the apex. And again, Honeygall is under pressure, and again Mark just makes a mistake. Hubert Honeygall then in second place, and now with a bit of breathing space thanks to another. Oh, and he's just made a mistake as well, but I'm afraid that Mark Reinhardt had dropped too far back, and in fact that's Ellis Stafford who's come through into third place from 7th on the grid. Stafford then, the new third place driver, and well, he just needs to keep reeling these laps off. We've seen, haven't we, not necessarily the fastest of the fast that comes out on top here. Consistency is all important, and plenty of consistency from the number 1 driver, the pole man, Lee Martin. And I think he's learned his lesson, you know, from that first heat. He's not pushing too hard. Note he's not pulling away too much from the drivers behind him. Honeygall and Stafford. Reinhardt, I think, in 4th place there, yeah. And despite the fact that the drivers behind Lee Martin are making mistakes, Lee's not pulling away, and that suggests to me that he's pacing himself, not trying to do lap record times. And that's a pass for 3rd and 4th, is it? No, because Stafford's held on to it, but that is Mark Reinhardt who's right there. The German's caught up with the Englishman. Heading into the tabletop again. Stafford just a little bit late on the power. Can Mark get up the inside here? He's having a good look. He'll do the cut back here and try to get on the power early, and that's perfect stuff from Mark, but he catches the bump wrong and rolls out of a momentary 3rd place back down into 4th. But look at how quick he's recovered. I mean, he was lucky that the buggy came back on its wheel straight away. And again, we see there, land on those whoops with too much power on you, you spear across to the right, put yourself in entirely the wrong place for the right-handed hairpin. Just one more lap stands between Lee Martin and the European Championships. Just got to keep it the right side up now, through the whoops, heading towards the tabletop, which he's made a couple of mistakes at. Oh my goodness me, that was super safe there, but he knows he's got plenty of breathing space. He's got, well, almost half a lap between himself and the rest of the field, and he comes through to win this heat and the European Championship. It's Lee Martin's to take home. So even backing off at the end of the race on the final lap, it's still almost 5 seconds between Lee Martin in 1st place and the new European champion from Hubert Honeygall in 2nd. Peter Pinish, the Austrian, comes up into 3rd, taking advantage of the battle between Ellis Stafford and Mark Reinhardt in 4th and 5th. Cockerell, Cragg, Neumann, Bradbury and Lee, the rest of the runners.
So you're already 2-wheel drive champion, and then of course a couple of days later comes the 4-wheel drive championship. But that's a much more competitive class in a way, because all the touring car guys turn up, the Mark Reinhardt, the Victor Wilks, you seem to be much happy with all wheels driven. It gets much more competitive, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think 2-wheel drive's the hardest class for people coming into our type of racing. So yeah, 4-wheel drive, it seems a bit easier for everyone else. It's all a bit tighter. You have to drive without mistakes to benefit from it, and everyone's quick in it. So it's definitely harder to win that one.
But a difficult event because you had so little running, didn't you, because of the bad weather?
Yeah, the rain played a bad part and took a few rounds away, but I did what I had to do in the end. So
let's see Lee doing what he had to do in the 4-wheel drive European Championships.
So the field knows it must put some pressure on poleman Lee Martin on the Tamiya. Already won the 2-wheel drives this weekend and made a great start in the 4-wheel drives by winning the first of the contests here. And he's already got a good start in the second one. As I say that, he makes a slight mistake. Through comes Reinhold, but no, he's taking it back. My goodness me, the German took every opportunity there, slipped into the lead for what? Half a length of the straight. But it looks like Lee Martin's got up into 2nd. Reinhold is just down into 3rd for the moment. I think that's Bradbury coming through. Paul Bradbury from 5th on the grid. He's just dropped back into 3rd though, has he? Yes, he has. So it's Martin from Reinhold, from Bradbury, from that's Jon Neumann in 4th position now. So he's gone down from 2nd place. Honeygall's dropped a position from 4th to 5th. Those top 5 just breaking away from the rest. And the battle is really on for 2nd place at the moment. Mark Reinhardt, the German, he doesn't need this. He wants to be out attacking the leader. Remember, only 4th in the first heat. He's really got to win this heat to have any chance of taking this contest to the 3rd and deciding event. As they come through the technical part of the infield. And up behind him now, that's Jon Neumann again. So where's Bradbury gone? Bradbury has disappeared. He's not there at all. Through goes the leaders. Now Now that is very interesting because I didn't see where Paul Bradbury on the Associate had disappeared to. He was briefly up into second and third. And there's a mistake by Reinhardt. Just hit the side of the track as he came down off the end of the whoops a tiny bit early, hit the right-hand side, and that's allowed Neumann back into second place. Now, that's very good news for Neumann, but there's the gap between first and second. This is Bradbury coming through again, back into third place, so there's been more carnage just out of our view. At the bottom of the whoops, we just can't quite see on the camera, just about there, and the cars just disappear for a moment. Now that's Neumann in second place, the black rear wing giving that one away. The leader, you can just see Lee Martin ahead of him. I'm not sure he's closing him down, you know. Lee Martin was able to just judge his pace perfectly in the first heat. As Bradbury, this is the battle for third now. Bradbury has got back ahead of Neumann, of Honeygall, excuse me. So that is the battle for third place as they go through third, fourth and fifth. But we keep our eye on that. In fact, Honeygall's gone through. Honeygall has gone through and retaken that position, I believe. Yes, that's Honeygall. So he's back up into third. But look at the gap. You can't even see the leader, or indeed Neumann chasing down the leader. There's the leader just in the background. Where's the second place buggy? There it is going through. So now Honeygall, Hupo Honeygall, the Austrian on the Durango, is trying to get away. And believe it or not, that looks like Reinhardt to me, fighting back again as he did in the first. A huge off in the background, which may have been Paul Bradbury. And that's going to cost a lot of time. Well, Mark Reinhardt's going to be kicking himself because he had the opportunity to chase down the leader, who is still, by the way, Lee Martin, who's out in front. But he's been embroiled in these battles in the field, and the time is ticking away, and so is his chances of adding to his haul of championships. And Lee Martin at the moment is on course to do a 2- and 4-wheel drive double, and there he is. Jon Neumann is catching him though, as he did in the first heat, but is there enough time left? It was a perfectly paced first heat from Martin, the pole sitter. Has he done exactly the same again? He's definitely being caught. Watch in the background, there is the yellow flash of Jon Neumann on the Yokomo. But surely Martin is not going to throw this away. He could take a second and take it to a third and deciding heat, but if he wins it, it's all over as far as the championship's concerned. As we check back and look further down the field, there is third position, way back, Hupo Honeygall, and he's on his own now with Mark Reinhardt dropping away in fourth position. And this is as spread out as I've seen a race like this, and that's because of the pace that's been set at the head of the field early on by Lee Martin. He's done it again. He's destroyed a world-class field. Gone out there and just ratcheted it in the laps in the early part at a really fast pace, gets himself clear, and then settles into a nice rhythm. Really fantastic tactical driving by the Brit on the Tamiya, and it looks to be a delightful double for him this weekend. 2-wheel drive in the bag and 4-wheel drive surely there for the taking. He's going to have to be a little bit careful because such is the pace he's set. He's about to come into some lapped traffic, and we're talking top quality drivers here. No one's had any real problems, and you can see just ahead of him there are, it's not fair to say, back markers. Last lap, he's paced it nicely, comes across, takes it, and there you see he wears the number 1 on the car, and number 1 as far as the results are concerned, our winner, Lee Martin. Well, convention dictates that Lee Martin dropped out of the final heat. It was a dead rubber as far as he was concerned. It was Mark Reinhardt that won that one, and that gave him third position in the overall standings. Hubert Honeygall was second in the final race, and that gave him fourth. Ahead of them, Jon Neumann with 2 seconds confirms himself in second place, but no doubt about the leader. 2 wins from the first 2 heats, and also the 2-wheel drive. That's a brilliant weekend. 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, it's all in the bag for Lee Martin.
Now, for our final race, we've plundered our archives for an event a couple of years ago at the Proline Arena where you won what we think was the first short course race you've ever filmed. I mean, is short course something you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I mean, short course is fun. It's not so big in this country. It's really big in America, and it's fun racing. You can rub, like contact. It's just full contact sport in short course, so it's fun. I'd like to see it grow more in the UK, but it was a good event, that one, and luckily I come away with a win.
You did. You won again.
So let's check the grid then for the trucks, the short course trucks, which look fantastic, and they are rapidly becoming one of my favourites. Lee Martin on pole from Matt Owen in second place. Interesting looking machine, not exactly the same clearly as the trucks around it. That's Nick Goodall in 3, the bright yellow of Matt Perry in 4, Gareth Stanton in 5. 6, another oddity, although that at least is the right chassis with the buggy body on. That's Nick Child, and behind Nick, Steve Oyston and Nick Child. We have to call number 6 Nicholas to make the differential. So the leader, Lee Martin, in the white and red truck, gets away. Now how will he attack the whoops? He takes it very easily on the way through the first time, and Matt Perry is the man on the move in the yellow and black machine, because he's come through into second position ahead of Matt Owen in 3rd. Oh, and there's a run through for the lead there for Matt Perry, who's pulled out. That's an excellent start from him from grid 4. Now can he hold on to it? Lee Martin just dropping into second place. Problem for 3rd place, Nick Goodall there, and he's stacked it. And that's allowed, I think that's Gareth Stanton to come through, isn't it? Yes. And he's having a look, and there's been a change for the lead whilst we were watching that, because Lee Martin, the poleman's back in front. Love it. Just absolutely love it. Top 3 together. How good does that look? Oh, and there's Stanton going up into 3rd position, and then immediately, well, almost throwing it away there. And Perry very good round this section, but is unable to capitalise there as Lee Martin makes his bid for freedom. Nick Goodall in 4th position in the red and white truck, that very famous livery. Beautifully modelled these bodies as well. Clearly the guys taking time not only to practice racing them, but have taken some time with the bodies, and they really do look the business, don't they? So Lee Martin leads from Gareth Stanton in 2nd. This is the battle for 3rd. Perry and Goodall. And off has gone 2nd place man there. He's disappeared off the track. I'm sure I saw it in the background. Yes, there he is. Stanton's dropped down into 4th position. So this now the battle for 2nd as Perry rolls out of it and Goodall goes through into 2nd position. So Lee Martin leads from Nick Goodall in 2nd. Perry fighting back in 3rd. And I'm pretty sure that Gareth Stanton has gone down into 4th position. Yes, there he is behind them. He's fighting his way back. Let's just keep an eye on this action for a moment, and then we'll go back and see exactly what happened. It was in that area of the track that I'm sure I saw Gareth Stanton going off. So Martin leading, and then this 3-truck battle for 2nd place. So how did Gareth Stanton lose 2nd place? Well, look at the top of the screen here. There he is. He's made a little mistake in that right-hander, and he's gone into the barrier, except that barrier isn't flush against the wall, and he's actually fallen off the track completely. And Matt Perry goes through into 2nd, and that is the battle we're watching now. And in fact, Goodall is battling with him, is in 2nd, but there's Perry going back, and that is Gareth Stanton recovering. So that's 2nd, 3rd and 4th there. A little bit of contact. Goodall goes down the inside again, and here comes Stanton. He wants to be a part of this 3-truck battle for 2nd place, with Lee Martin leading out, and a considerable lead as well. And there goes Stanton going through. He must be kicking himself at making that slight mistake and falling off the circuit. But he's back up into 3rd now. Will he have a look down the inside of Nick Goodall here? No, can't do it. Again, a little bit of contact. And again, what happens, you see, as soon as there's a bit of contact, the tail end of the truck starts to swing 2-wheel drive, and there's more contact there on the infield, and it's Stanton and Perry again, and Goodall's in there, and everybody else. I think I saw Matt Owen going through there at one point as well. And there is Matt Owen, or is that, in fact, that might well be Nicholas Child in the buggy. Yes, it is. The buggy-bodied chassis. Try saying that. 7 times on a Saturday night at midnight. So that silver and blue truck is Steve Oyston, and I'm not sure that he is in the battle. He's laps down, so Perry and Stanton we are watching. Perry in the yellow truck and Stanton having just dropped away as soon as I mentioned him, of course. And that's the leader putting a lap on Gareth Stanton just behind there in that shot. Well, that's a tremendous run again by Lee Martin. There's Perry, and there is Lee Martin coming through the field, slicing through like a knife through butter. And just look at the style of this man. Phenomenal stuff. He really has been the class of this field. Got his head around driving these short course trucks very quickly indeed. Smooth, cool, calm and collected, and he's on his way to a victory here. Look how he just settles the truck down before he turns it into the corners, on and off the throttle, making sure that he's got the grip from the rear tyres before he opens the throttle up for the electric motor to do its job. And he's now lapping Matt Perry as well. So that's the 3rd place truck ahead of our leader, and I think he's going to lose the lead lap, isn't he? Yeah, he pretty much is. Will Lee push off? Oh, that is just glorious. Did you see how he controlled that as he turned it onto the infield? So only Nick Goodall in 2nd place in the red and white truck has held on to the tail end of the lead lap, and that's another great run by Lee Martin. Well, Lee Martin has really adapted to this form of racing very quickly indeed, and he wins it ahead of Nick Goodall in 2nd place. Matt Perry, Gareth Stanton, Matt Owen are the top 5.
Well, Lee, thank you for being part of our Lee Martin special. We genuinely couldn't have done it without you. I suppose looking forward to this year, the target must be those Worlds in Finland.
Yeah, it's a big year for me. We've got the Euros again, try and retain the title. We have the Worlds, which is the biggest thing on my map. So if I can do that, then, I mean, if you guys came and filmed, it might help me. But
Don't worry, we will be there. In fact, I think Ollie and Matt will be there, in fact. So you can look forward to that probably about 7 months' time on RC Racing. But next month, we have another one of our best of combined with People's Star interview type things. But you'll have to wait and find out who it is. That's all next month on RC Racing.